All right, Chuck. The economics of owning a music theater. You feel me? Y'all know I owned a music theater back in the day. I've been low key, I've been thinking about going back into that universe and seeing how my movie theater is going. There's been a lot of new movies that I want to put inside my theater. So we're gonna watch this video, the economics of owning your own movie theater. We're gonna see how we feel at the end of it, bro.
Want to buy movie theater, build some screens, sell some tickets, watch people pile in every weekend to see the next big blockbuster. Here's the part nobody tells you. The movie playing on your screen is, by design, one of the...
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this though, right? If I was to own a movie theater, I would have the first, like, my movie theater would be 21 and older. Reasons why, you probably like, Caleb, why would you have your movie theater 21 and older? This is the reason why. Teens are too freaky, right? Teens are too freaky. They ain't got nowhere else to go but the movie theater. Let's get that out the way. Number two, you're gonna have legally you have to be 21-year-old to consume anything in this country, right? Number three, I will have, like, listen, this is what I'll do, right? I have like the left side of the theater be straight for Za. The right side of the theater be straight for my alcohol drinkers. And then I had like 2, 3, maybe 4 theaters in the middle where it's combined with both. And if you feel like you don't want to, like, listen, I'm not begging you to come here. If you don't like the smell, you don't like you feel me? You don't like people drinking or whatnot, ooh, that's your fault. I'm gonna also say this, it's drink responsible. Nobody told you to come here and get overly drunk, now you can't drive home. It's just a movie. All you need is a little shot or two and you good. Now listen, for my indulgence on the other side with the ZA, you know your tolerance, you know your level. You feel me? You know your body. Come on, we are grown.
Least profitable products you'll ever sell. The studio that made it can take up to 100% of what you charge for the ticket. And the company that currently owns more movie screens than anyone else on earth is...
Like, imagine if AMC did that. I would do like an AMC stub too, but I'll start off like, I do like the price of one ticket, the price of one movie or one of my movie tickets, it'd be that price. It'd be like maybe double that for the entire month. But you can see, maybe I do like, you can see like 1 or 2 movies free a week. You feel me?
On more than $4 billion in debt, has lost money in back-to-back quarters, and recently warned its own shareholders that the stock is sitting on more than the ticket. And the studio that made it can take up to 100% of what you charge for the ticket. And the company reading on your screen is, by design, one of the least profitable products you'll ever sell. The studio that made it can take up to 100% of what you charge for the ticket. And the company that currently owns more movie screens than anyone else on earth is sitting on more than $4 billion in debt, has lost money in back-to-back quarters, and recently warned its own shareholders that the stock is highly speculative. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why a theater makes almost nothing on the thing it's named after, how the real money actually gets made, why the biggest chain in the industry is one bad summer away from real trouble.
Okay, so look, I could understand why a movie theater will only make money from their concessions. They'll make more money off of concessions. Even if you didn't tell me about like the company who makes the movie, they can take all of the ticket revenue. Even if I didn't know that, I would still like guess that it's concessions, because concessions is theirs. Like, you feel me? That's their thing. That's their store.
A $7.
They don't own the movies. They just renting the movies, or they just, you feel me? They just bought the movies for however long.
Bucket of popcorn might be the most economically important object in the entire building. Theaters come in 3 sizes, and they are 3 completely different businesses. A small independent 2-screen theater, the kind that takes over a single storefront, runs $500,000 to $1.5 million. A real multiplex, 6 to 10 screens, the kind that anchors a strip mall or sits inside a shopping center, runs anywhere from $5 million on the low end up to $25 million for a newly built amenity-loaded version with luxury recliners and premium sound. Construction alone for a ground-up 10-screen screen building typically runs $400 to $500 a square foot, which on a 45,000 square foot building means $18 million before you've even in 5,000 square foot build.
So you mean to tell me an IMAX room, it's 17, is what?
Building means $18 million before.
So you mean to tell $18 million?
What the fuck is this?
Or you've even installed a single projector. And then there's the equipment, which nobody budgets for correctly the first time. A single 4K laser projector costs $60,000 to $150,000. Multiply that across 10 screens, and you're at $1.5 million just for the machines throwing the picture on the wall. Add Dolby Atmos sound at $50,000 per auditorium, and luxury heated recliners at roughly $1,200 a seat, 200 seats, and that's another $240,000. And the building itself.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Movie theaters don't charge enough, bro. They only charge $20 a head for IMAX. And it's like probably like 19 and some change for Adobe. Bro, you mean to tell me them seats cost $100,000 alone each?
Was never the expensive part. The technology inside it was. So why does anyone do this? Because for almost a century, it worked. People had nowhere else to see a movie on a screen that big, with sound that loud, surrounded by other people having the same reaction at the same time. That was the entire business model. Scarcity of experience.
I'm a sucker
then
for a movie
streaming
theater, bro.
happened. And the scarcity disappeared.
Bro, streaming be cool, but like nothing beats the real movie theater, bro.
Now, the question that actually matters, where does the money come from? It's almost never the movie. Here's the part that breaks people's brains. When a big new release opens, the studio that made it can take up to 100% of the ticket revenue in the first 1 to 2 weeks. Not a metaphor. The theater could keep $0 from a sold-out opening weekend of the biggest movie of the year. As the weeks go on, the split slides toward the theater, eventually landing somewhere close to 50-50. But by the time that happens, most of the crowd has already come and gone. So if the theater barely profits from the ticket, what is the theater actually selling you? The popcorn. A medium bucket of popcorn costs the theater roughly 50 cents to make. It sells for $7 to $8. That's the markup of over 1,200%. Soda's even better. Found drinks run pennies per ounce and carry profit margins north of 85%. Unlike the ticket, the theater keeps 100% of every...
Do we have to?
Dang, it's like you can't even be mad at them for upcharging now, bro. It's like, charge more. I don't buy it. I bring my own
concession
stuff.
stand. No studio, no distributor, nobody else gets a cut. This is why the industry has an old, blunt saying passed down for decades. Find a good location to sell popcorn, and then build a movie theater there. The numbers back it up completely. Concessions typically make up only 20 to 30% of a theater's total revenue, but they generate 45 to 50% of its actual profit. Tickets bring in the bigger number. Popcorn brings in the bigger margin. One former theater chain executive put it plainly to a reporter. If concessions didn't carry the business, a movie ticket would cost $20 just to break even. That is the entire model in one sentence. You're not running a cinema with a snack bar attached. You're running a snack bar that uses the movie as the reason people walk through the door. Now the part that makes this business genuinely clever once you see it. Economists who studied this industry found something counterintuitive. Theaters deliberately priced the movie ticket lower than they could, and the popcorn higher than it should be. On purpose, as a strategy. Here's why. The technology inside it was. Movies the same way. Some people would pay $23 for the full experience. Ticket, popcorn, drink. Others would only show up if the ticket stays cheap. If the theater raised ticket prices to capture more from big spenders, it would lose the price-sensitive crowd entirely. So instead, it keeps the door cheap to get everyone else inside. Then they'll let the snack counters sort customers by how much they're actually willing to spend. The die-hard moviegoer who'll see everything pays for the deluxe popcorn combo. He walks in, watches the film, and leaves having spent almost nothing beyond the ticket. Both customers got in the door. Only one of them subsidized the building. It's the same logic Microsoft uses selling an Xbox at a loss and making the real money on games. Sell the primary product near cost. Make the actual profit on what comes after. And theaters have leaned into this far beyond popcorn. Premium formats, IMAX, Dolby Cinema, 4DX, they charge a significant markup over a standard ticket. And during a year when overall theater attendance was flat, these formats alone accounted for 50 to 60% of total ticket revenue on major releases. IMAX posted its best year ever in box office terms, even as the broader industry stayed stuck below pre-pandemic numbers. The strategy isn't getting more people through the door, it's getting more money out of the people already there. So with guaranteed concession margins, premium formats, and a business with a century of momentum behind it, why is the largest theater chain in the world drowning in debt right now? Two forces are squeezing this business at the same time. Force 1. The audience that used to show up every month stopped showing up every month. Before the pandemic, roughly 39% of American adults went to the movies at least once a month. By 2025, that number had fallen to around 17%. Total domestic box office in 2025 came in around $8.6 billion, 23% below 2019 levels, and ticket sales specifically, stripping out the effect of rising prices, were down nearly 40% from before the pandemic. The US lost roughly 5,700 movie screens in the years following COVID. Major chains, including Regal Cinemas, Pacific Theaters, and Alamo Drafthouse, all filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Some came back, some didn't. The cause isn't a mystery. During the pandemic, studios shrank the gap between a movie's theatrical release and its arrival on streaming, training an entire generation of moviegoers to simply wait. Once that happened formed, it never fully reversed. Analysts now describe the industry as sitting in a genuine negative feedback loop. Fewer people show up, so theaters run fewer showtimes. So studios send more films straight to streaming instead, which gives audiences even less reason to leave the house next time. Force 2. The debt from the shutdown years never actually went away. AMC, the largest theater chain on Earth with over 850 locations and nearly 9,700 screens, finished 2025 holding roughly $4 billion in corporate debt, plus another $4 billion in long-term lease obligations on top of that. In its most recent quarter, the company reported a net loss of nearly $300 million. Over the past 2 years, AMC has gone through repeated rounds of refinancing, converting debt into equity, pushing maturities further into the future, raising hundreds of millions in fresh cash just to keep the balance sheet standing upright. In its own annual report, the company stated plainly that without a significant and sustained increase in attendance, a future restructuring or even bankruptcy could leave shareholders with a total loss. This is a company that operates one of the most recognizable brands in entertainment, sells billions of dollars of $8 popcorn every year, and is still, by its own admission, one disappointing summer away from a genuine crisis. There's the third pressure too, and it's structural rather than financial. The theatrical window itself is shrinking. For most of the industry's history, a movie played exclusively in theaters for 90 days before it was allowed anywhere else. That window was the entire reason a theater had pricing power. For 3 months, the big screen was the only screen. During the pandemic, studios collapsed that window down to weeks, sometimes days, just to keep revenue flowing while theaters were closed or restricted. Once that genie was out of the bottle, it never went fully back in. The event compounds in a way that's brutal for theater owners specifically. A shorter window means more casual moviegoers simply wait for streaming instead of paying for a ticket. Weaker opening weekends then give studios a clean argument for shortening the window even further on the next film, since the theatrical run isn't doing much anyway. Analysts who track this call it a negative feedback loop for a reason. Every cycle of the pattern makes the next cycle slightly worse, and there's no obvious point where it stabilizes on its own. This is exactly what happened with one of 2024's most expensive theatrical releases. A $250 million action comedy carrying 2 genuine A-list stars opened to a soft $97 million over its entire domestic run. A real underperformance relative to its budget and star power. Weeks later, the same film landed on a major streaming service and pulled in 50 million viewers in a single opening weekend. The theatrical release wasn't really the commercial event anymore. It was advertising for the one that came after. Step back for a second. The movie theater is a business built entirely around a product it doesn't get fully paid for. The film draws the crowd. The studio keeps most of the ticket. The theater survives, barely, and only sometimes, on what people are willing to buy once they're already standing inside the lobby. That's a fragile foundation in good years. In a year where fewer people show up at all, and the ones who do show up are pickier about which 2 or 3 blockbusters are worth leaving the house for, the entire structure gets squeezed from every direction at once. Less foot traffic means less concession revenue. Less concession revenue means less cash to cover a debt load. Most chains took on just to survive the years nobody was allowed inside a theater at all. You're not really in the business of showing movies.
Dang, I wanted to do PPP loans. I wanted to do PPP loans
recently and thought to myself, what if I built a
You're in the business of getting someone through the lobby long enough to sell them a $9 soda and hoping enough of them do it often enough to cover a building that costs millions of dollars to run, whether 80 people show up or 800. 2 scenarios, real numbers. Scenario 1, a small independent 2-screen theater. Startup cost in the $500,000 to $1.5 million range. Concessions can realistically generate 70 to 80% of total revenue at this scale, since a small operator has far less leverage to negotiate favorable splits with major studios on hit films. Run lean, in a market without major chain competition nearby, and a small theater can clear a modest but real profit, often by leaning hard into the snack counter and treating the screen almost as a loss leader. Exactly the way the model was designed to work in the first place. Scenario 2, a major chain multiplex. Tens of millions in build costs, premium formats, hundreds of seats, a brand name with national pricing power. Revenue scales into the tens of millions annually for a single high-traffic location, but so does the overhead, staffing across multiple shifts and screens, equipment maintenance and upgrades every few years to stay competitive with home theater setups, and for any chain still carrying
a theater, like, bro, nobody home theater is ever gonna touch an actual theater, bro. It don't, like, it's never, bro. You never gonna have the same. You never gonna have an Adobe sound system, and you never gonna have as many speakers as they do. You never gonna have 10 screens on one projector showing the highest quality film. Showing this. This is how the director wanted us to see us, bro. You feel me? We not trying to see, oh, just because you only got 4K. Nigga, this movie was shot in 70 millimeter. Can you handle 70? You feel me? Your CD, you feel me? Your little CD player, your little, feel me? Netflix can't handle no 70 millimeters. It's just gonna show us the regular format. No.
Pandemic-era debt, a real interest payment that has to clear before a single dollar reaches an owner. The chain-level version of this business has scale on its side and a balance sheet working against it. And right now, for the biggest player in the room, the balance sheet is winning more often than the scale is. Same screens, same popcorn margins, same 100-year-old business model. The difference between a healthy year and a crisis year isn't anything happening inside the building. It's how many people decided that night to stay home instead. In 1976, IMAX had exactly one purpose: make the screen so big and the experience so overwhelming that nothing in someone else's living room can ever compete with it. For decades, that was enough. A bigger screen and louder speakers were a moat no streaming service could cross, because the technology to replicate it at home.
Think about in the 90s. Think about you in the 90s, bro. They had box TVs, and you come to this theater and you got this big old projector. IMAX
simply didn't exist. That moat is narrowing every year. Home theater setups with 4K projectors, surround sound, and screens the size of a wall now cost a few $1,000s. A fraction of what they cost a decade ago. The thing that used to be exclusively the cinema's advantage is slowly becoming available to anyone with a finished basement and a Best Buy.
You don't got an Adobe sound system. You don't have an IMAX projectile.
Credit card. So the theaters that are actually thriving right now aren't the ones competing on screen size anymore. They're the ones who figured out something the streaming services structurally cannot offer. A room full of strangers having the same reaction at the same moment to the same thing. Halloween horror crowds screaming together, animated family films.
Because AMC has cracked the code, bro. AMC cracked the code. All these little cheap people, oh my God, I can just tip to Netflix for $15 and I can see all these movies. No, you can't. You know what you can do? You can sub to AMC for $20 a month and see 4 movies a week. Feel me? That's 12 movies a month. And I love AMC for doing that.
Packed with kids on a Saturday morning, an audience laughing in unison at the same joke.
Bro, you literally get your money back by going to see one movie, bro. And once you go see that second movie, now you seeing movies for free. You feel me?
Doesn't stream.
I was the type of person, I go like 2 movies a day. Like if I'm gonna go see a movie, I'm gonna go see 2 movies. Why not? I'm an A-lister. You feel me? Why not?
Disney World.
Why not stack it up instead of doing one, do another? You feel me? That's how I feel though, chat. You get an in-stream release. Hold on, chat. I don't even know what song it is, bro. Is it this? No, it's not it. It's not this, bro. Watch, I'm gonna find it as soon as I'm not looking for it no more.
Do you mind?
Is this it?
Play that shit on TNT.
Alright, John.
I just wanna be loved.